As industrialization spread, the problems associated with it became harder and harder to ignore. Some members of the middle and upper classes saw the dreadful way the poor lived and wanted to do something about it. Many Americans did not know how bad the situation in factories and slums were until they read about it in the books and newspaper articles written by a group of writers who would eventually be called the muckrakers. Journalist Ida Tarbell wrote about the unfair business practices of the Standard Oil Trust. Lincoln Steffens exposed political corruption in the nation's big cities. Novelist Frank Norris published The Octopus, a story of California ranchers' struggles with corporate railroads. In 1906, Upton Sinclair published The Jungle, a powerful expose detailing unsafe and unsanitary practices of the meatpacking industry. The work of these writers galvanized the progressivists, most of whom were native-born, college-educated, middle and upper-class city dwellers. The progressivists sought immediate reforms, hoping to change society for the better, while preserving capitalism and democracy. Not everyone was so swayed by the muckraking, however. It was Theodore Roosevelt who gave the muckrakers their name. He felt that the muckrakers were necessary to society, but also that they often went too far, focusing solely on the negative aspects of the issues they wrote about. But it was in Teddy Roosevelt that the progressives had their strongest ally. Roosevelt was a hero of the Spanish-American War and the vice president under William McKinley. Roosevelt was a headstrong and popular Republican and a known enemy of political corruption. Tragically, President McKinley was assassinated by a deranged anarchist in 1901. When Roosevelt was thrust into the presidency, corrupt politicians and businessmen knew they had a problem. No sooner had Roosevelt been sworn in than he delivered an address to Congress, stating that old laws and customs were no longer sufficient in the face of the new social problems facing the United States. Roosevelt set out to convince the American people of the need for social change and gain support for his strategy, a strategy he called the Square Deal.